Assalamu alaikum. My name is Trevor Snap. I am a journalist, a VR director, a technologist, and I work for a media lab in Kenya called Collaborative Futures. And we create civic media and technology for the people. We do that in a lot of different ways. But one of the ways we do that with is matching emerging technology with needs of communities and media, both in the region and more broadly. So today we're going to talk about virtual reality. And we're going to make some virtual reality, inshallah, if everything goes according to plan. And we're going to watch what we make. And then we're going to talk about how that applies to all of our own work. So virtual reality at this point is a tool to tell better stories, more immersive stories, like our friend is engaged in over there. But it's also a future platform for interaction, for interacting with different types of content. So right now, you might have heard of VR, AR, XR, MR, spatial computing, volumetric filmmaking, AI-powered volumetric filmmaking. So we're at this point right now where we're essentially at the cusp of a revolution in media technologies that is quite similar to what happened with our cell phones. So essentially, the way in which our cell phones kind of consolidated our data and gave us all these tools, a similar thing is going to happen with computing that interfaces with us, but not in kind of through a screen, more through, it could be hearables where your reality is augmented by virtual sounds in your day-to-day where you're getting instructions. It could be, the glasses where you're seeing augmented content on top of your daily life. It could be immersive media, like where you're actually completely in a virtual holodeck-like situation. So VR is kind of, and it's also actually, I should put in here, a 360 video as well. So what we're talking about today is 360 video. It's kind of a version of virtual reality. But all of these kind of confusing terms, why they're confusing right now is because nobody knows what the heck is going on, and nobody knows the future of this. And this is why I'm most excited to be here, because right now, we are the ones that invent this, or we don't. And right now, the conversations around AR, VR, XR, MR, all these different things are conversations that are happening in New York City and LA and San Francisco. And they're the ones that are inventing the future. Just like Zuckerberg invented Facebook, and we all have to deal with the consequences of that. Now, other people in Silicon Valley, engineers that are pretty clueless about what's happening in the world, are inventing our augmented virtual reality future. And this is a future that's going to happen in maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. In China, you have 1,000 VR cinemas being set up every single year. So they're on an accelerated kind of path towards using virtual reality as a useful thing in their life. I think other cultures, other places will be a bit slower, but we're all kind of headed in that direction. And that's why it's really important that journalism and nonfiction storytelling is part of this conversation. It's actually, I think it's actually quite critical because we're the ones that are going to actually find good, positive, socially oriented uses for this, and not just games or pornography or things like that. These are. It's up to us basically to decide on this future. That's why I'm really excited to get all of your guys' hands dirty today with using this stuff and thinking about how it can be useful to your own work. And the other thing that's really important to acknowledge with this stuff is that you guys are actually potentially the experts. Like, this has been around for 3 or 4 or 5 years, but nobody really knows how to use this stuff. And if they tell you they do, it's completely BS, because you can't figure this stuff out in 5 years. So right now, we're all at this point where there's this horizontal moment where we can all be engaged in the creation of this new technology, if we want to. So that's really important to think about. Like, within 6 months, you can have the same skills that anybody working in this space has, which is also why it's really exciting and fun. And yeah, there's also the potential for this to be used for bad. So this on the top is a Chinese police officer using augmented reality. These are apps that allow her to facially scan people as she's walking down the street It allows people to run, check for warrants, all these different things. China is using surveillance and AI-powered augmented reality to really create a police state. And this is something that we might be seeing in our own countries coming up quite soon, because China's going to be exporting these technologies. So you'll be walking down the street, and you need to be able to have a discussion and understanding about why certain facial scanning technologies are working and how that's influencing your society. So if we just step back and be like, oh, that's some thing that's happening in the future, well, it's not. It could be happening really tomorrow. And again, in the Uyghur areas of China, in Western China, you have a population there. We have 1 million people that's in behavior change modification camps, where they're being subjected to really sophisticated ways of changing people's behavior. They're having their face scanned on the streets as they walk down the street, and that's being run into databases which are checking where they are and what they're doing. Their phones are being hacked by the government, and they're being monitored. So, we're at this point right now where it's not just we'll get to that later when it's happening. It's actually vital that we as journalists and truth tellers get involved in these discussions. And it's not just reporting on them; it's actually using them. And how do we use them for good, rather than consolidation of power? So today I'm gonna chat a little bit, answer a few questions, and then try to get divide us up into teams, and then we're all gonna kind of go out into the conference center and make some short films which you can edit on your phone. Then we'll get back together and we'll talk about ideas for how this could matter for your own work. And then again, I'm really happy. I'll put a sign-up paper over here where you guys can put your email, and I can send you out some more specific resources about what might be useful and technology-wise if you are interested in getting involved. So what is emerging technologies good for? Well, it's good for a lot of things. It's good for telling old stories from a new perspective. There might be stories that you have done, but using some of these technologies, you can actually tell it in a different and more powerful way. There's also stories that you could never tell before that you can now tell with these technologies. And a big thing that this technology gives us is the power of immersion. The VR is the most kind of radical example of that, where you're immersed in an entirely, an entire world where you're cut off from the rest of the world. But you can also do that with augmented reality. You can also do that with other technologies. And there's also entirely new ways that people can engage with these technologies. An example of a really powerful piece I saw at a film festival recently was looking at the death toll in Syria, and they, and in comparison, I think, with, and maybe it was shootings in America, but they actually physically put you in a room with the coffins. So it was, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet high. You were walking around the physical reality of this death, which is a completely different way to interact with data. When you read it in an Economist article and you see the number in the little bar graph, to actually be physically in the space of the data was a fundamentally different shift. And there's a lot of stuff that can be done in that way that you couldn't really do before. Another thing I really want to talk about today is kind of the DIY and hacking ethos. My colleague Ben Kramer made all of these very fancy technologies when he was working as an innovation fellow for BuzzFeed. So the first you see, all this stuff is stuff that he 3D printed. And I'm sure in every one of your guys' cities there's a fab lab or a technology lab where they have access to 3D printers, and they can help you make technology to reach your goals. But it doesn't have to be fancy to get the job done. This is a case to create an immersive head unit where you could actually kind of get the POV of somebody walking around on the ground. The other one over there is for a motorcycle perspective. Ben also works a lot with drones. You see he kind of rubber banded, taped, and then put 3D brackets together to be able to create 360 video. So it's really critical that you bring to this. There's a feeling we have with these new technologies where you look at this, and you're like, oh, this is complicated and fancy, and what does it even do? But you can take it apart, and you can make it still work. You can make it work in the way that you want it to work. This is a really great device for augmented reality. So this is basically a people's version of a $3,000 Microsoft HoloLens that allows you to use your cell phone to experience quite sophisticated augmented reality. So it's really up to you to think about how you can hack these technologies to work for yourself. And that's, again, the exciting thing, because nobody really knows how these are going to be used or what the future is going to be. So it is up to you. And people talk about the future, it's coming, but it's actually now. And again, it's up to us to decide how we want to build it. Quickly to talk about 360 video. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be working in 360 video, which essentially, this is a cheaper version. This is about $50 to $100 right now. And it's two cameras. Imagine like a GoPro or a cell phone camera on either side, creating 180-degree visual. And this is stitched together in a software. More sophisticated cameras, like the piece that I recently made, was built around 7 GoPro cameras. And that was, we kind of stuck those together in a 3D printed frame, but there's much more sophisticated, really great cameras now that are easier to use. So when do you use these? If space is a major part of the story, sometimes you're looking at doing a story and you want to immerse someone in a physical space. And that could be in a natural environment. That could be in a conflict zone. That could be in a mall. But you really want to bring people into that place to feel that space. And that's really important. Very easy power of these tools. Also, it's important to think about, as a filmmaker, when I'm shooting, I'll be shooting a medium, a close-up, a wide. I'll be moving around as my character, Abraham Homer, will be doing his thing. And so with this, though, I can't do that. I can't move this camera in and out. I have to basically put it in a place where I know things are going to happen. So I might put it next to him on a tripod here. And so in a situation where you have action and motion happening around a camera, it's very powerful. If you're trying to really get into the details of something, it might not work as well. And if it's important to get the entire kind of 360 view of a scene, certain situations where you want people to be able to look where the bombing site is in reference to the building, in reference to the to the mountains, or if there's something that you want to tell, where you want people to be able to kind of juxtapose and understand how kind of geography connects, or architecture connects. It can be really useful for that. And there's a lot of other reasons why it's useful, but it's really important to think about, is this film necessary to be in 360? There's a lot of really crappy films that were made because people thought, oh, cool, let's just do this, but in 360 video. So I think it's really important to think about, yes, at the beginning, just do whatever because you need to get your hands dirty on this stuff, but you do need to think about, is this an important story? Is this a story that works in 360? And honestly, the only way you're going to figure that out is by doing it yourself. Again, like we talked about before, if you're camping in the middle of a space, it can be quite difficult to use 360. Also, one thing that happens when you'll see it when you experience some of this stuff, this content, if you're in a situation where you need people to see something, it might not work, because what happens when someone's experiencing VR is they look wherever they want. And while I could be right now making a film about this and I want them to look at the audience, they're staring at this really beautiful window, mesmerized by that. And you have to be able to kind of allow for that in your stories. So it's not going to be as direct as like a punchy 2-minute AJ Plus video where they're saying, listen to this, think this, read this. So you have to be, and it has to be a different kind of a story. And it's not particularly good if you want to get a lot of information across. For that example of the Syrian deaths, there was one point they could make, and that was like a 5-minute experience. The point was, this many people have died. So if you want to get into the nuances of why they died and what was the politics behind it, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to make very, very succinct points, but those points can be made in a more powerful way. And I think referencing investigations, I think that's quite critical, because you can essentially take some key components of your investigations and make them in virtual reality to impart specific types of information, or you make people care potentially about the rest of the story. So maybe you do a story about corruption, and you have some great 360 video of some really rich Jordanians in the Caribbean partying up with Kanye West. That would be a great thing to get people to care about corruption, why this is mattering, because people would be kind of inspired to know more potentially. Another really important component of doing this kind of content is spatial audio. So we're not going to do much of that today, but it's something to take with you, and it's really critical because As powerful as 360 video is, 360 audio is equally as powerful. And what that means is you can have, essentially, when you're listening to 360 audio, you'll hear sounds and noises from all around you, and potentially above you. So for example, if you were in a situation like Yemen and you had a bombing, you would be hearing the bomb start from here and would go across your audio. And there's now headphones where as you look around, it's still in that location. Currently, typically right now with audio, wherever you look, it kind of moves with you. You can't tell where your head is. But these sound like kind of small things, but when you actually experience it, it's actually can be far, far more powerful than visuals. It's definitely something underexplored. There's a lot of cool tools to get into spatial audio quickly. This Zoom H2N, I don't know if any of you guys ever used this microphone before? Yeah, it's one of the cheapest Zooms. But inside it has 4 microphones going every direction. So it wasn't built to be a 360 mic. It's a $100 mic, but it actually works quite well. So that allows you in post-production to basically have a lot of data to stitch together where audios are coming from and when. The other reason why it's important in 360 is when people are in the story, and if you want them to look at something, you play audio that makes them look at it. So you hear the sound of a book dropping, they'll look over. We're programmed to react to audio in a very sophisticated way. Spatial 360, Facebook 360 Spatial Workstation, Reaper are two audio softwares that you can use to create these kind of tracks. Right now, the most robust software for editing 360 is Adobe Premiere. They have great options, and it makes it really easy. There's also some free options I can talk about later as well. Before we go into the workshop, I just want to talk about some of the other kind of projects that we've worked on to get you thinking about, beyond kind of 360. This is a dump Dandora in Kenya, in Nairobi. It's quite large. It's massive, actually. And Ben did a project with Vice to map this out with a drone. And he does a lot of stuff with 360, but this was with a specific camera. And the idea was to create a 3D map of this, so you could really understand kind of a bit better about what was happening in this geographic environmental location. His favorite quote is, "To invent, you need a good imagination and pile of junk." So he managed to, this is a bottle cap right there, and an L bracket that it allowed him to attach his camera. So it's not like, oh, they haven't invented an attachment. You have to make it. And then he ended up coming up with a really cool, let's see if I can play this. I can't play it. Sorry, I'll mention one more thing. His PowerPoint. So you get this really cool flyover, right? And it looks fuzzy, but as you go in, you can get more and more details. And this has become easier and easier and more sophisticated. He does this a lot for like archaeological sites, but you can do this again for in a conflict zone or something like that, where you actually want to kind of be able to map out what happened. And this is a very simple tool. You're using photogrammetry essentially, where you're actually building 3D a 3D model using photographs. Again, you can do this stuff with people as well. So, for example, I could do 800 photographs of any of you, and you could stitch that together to create basically a holographic photograph of something. And now we're working on technology that allows you to do that with video, so you'd be able to essentially create holograms of people. And again, we can talk more about that later, but I just wanted to give you a sense of kind of where things are going. It's not just 360 now. We're actually creating physical spaces that you can walk through. And we're doing, holographic scans of people that allow you to basically be like in the holodeck. And these are things that are coming to all of us really, really soon. So it's, again, if you're interested in this stuff, yeah, there's a lot coming our way. These are 2 platforms that you use to create those worlds. So you can also use this when we're talking about 360 filming, but you can also create you can bring real-world assets into these gaming engines, and within that world, you can create storylines. You can have interaction. You can have hot buttons when people press on things. And again, we'll talk more about this as we go on. I wanted to briefly talk about augmented reality because it's coming. This is Magic Leap, which just came out in America. It's been hyped up for years. It's valuated at like billions and billions of dollars. It's not as cool as everybody thought it would be, but it is interesting. And essentially, these are goggles that you wear over your glasses that allow you to put virtual objects, virtual things into your world. I don't know if the audio is playing. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah, but it just gives you a sense of kind of. This is the kind of interface that we all could be using, in our offices where instead of having, this is called they call it spatial computing. So instead of our typing like this, we're actually looking at things. There's cameras in the Magic Leap that are filming as you tap on the wood of the desk. So this is how a lot of people right now in Silicon Valley are kind of thinking about the future. You're able to have these kind of 3D animations, and it's just a more sophisticated way of dealing with data that we have to deal with on our computers every day. But these are like $3,000, and they're coming out, and they don't work very well, and we're still a ways off from that happening. Okay, I think it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to briefly show you HoloLens, which is which is a similar technology which Microsoft built. They're coming out with their new version quite soon. But yes, these kind of goggles. They look really silly. And again, this is the cardboard version, so that we can actually start making content for this stuff. And yeah. So the biggest use case for this stuff so far has been actually architects. So architects are able to create models and spaces that you can walk through before they're actually built, which has been quite useful for them. And the other thing to mention is this is augmented reality, and we're talking about virtual reality today. The future is that they go together. So you wear this headset, and 1 second it's virtual reality, you're in an immersive space. The next second it's augmented reality, and that's going to happen, in the next 10, 12 years. But that's where kind of things are going. But right now, technologically wise, they have to be on these kind of separate tracks. But it's important to think about them, I think, together. Cool. So I just wanted to also briefly talk about technology before we get into teams. And again, so this is, this was one of the first kind of amateur VR cameras that came out, and now it is worth like, I think, yeah, $50. This one you're looking at here is really great. We have another version of this, Insta361. Here, these are like about $200 or $300. And then you have, the Insta Pro 2, which is about $2,500. So comparable with, one of these video cameras we have in the back. And these things are amazing and super easy to use and incredibly high quality. One thing to mention, is there's a big, today we'll be talking about 360 video, but not necessarily stereo. So there's also in the VR world, there's so this is using, I think it's 4 cameras, maybe 6 cameras. The jump here uses like 17 cameras or something crazy like that. But what it's essentially doing is creating stereo video. So it's 3D. So not only are you looking at a 360 video around you, it's in 3D, like we imagine, like on a 3D TV or in a 3D theater like that, which adds a level of immersion that's quite powerful. And I think where everything is heading, this Insta360 creates an effect, a 3D effect that's quite powerful. Not quite the same, but it's a heck of a lot easier than running around with that giant thing. Yeah, so that's the options out there. So why don't we just, maybe I'm going to, how many people are here? Let me just count real quick. We'll break into teams. Actually, we only have so many cameras, so that's going to decide it. 1, 2. Okay, I'm just going to count in fives, and then if all the ones can get together, the twos get together, the threes, the fours, and the fives. So, there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. You're a 3. Maybe just say your number. 4. 4. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5. You're good? 1. Okay, cool. So maybe if ones could go over there, twos right there, threes in the back, fours here, and then fives. Maybe just hold up your number so you can find other people like you. If you guys could maybe
Helping you?
yeah,
Sure.
and just because people are gonna have to kind of figure out how to do this a bit on their own. So if you can kind of just encourage them. So essentially what we're doing is there's these cameras which connect to to these phones, or people can actually download the software themselves. And then they'll film with this monitoring on their phones. Once they get that set up and figured out, then they'll go out and shoot 3 shots. And and then they can edit that together, and then they can watch it in these things.
So they are watching.
They're going to make something. Yeah.
Decide what to film, and then they film, and then they get back to
Yeah, yeah. So the first thing will basically just be everybody figuring out how to make these things work on the phones, which is always a pain. Yeah.
So they are filming with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to attach it to the phone. How many one?
I'm just gonna make sure. Let's see. Some of these phones have the right software. Some don't. Beta. Okay, this one's good. Yeah. Okay. So maybe give this to one team.
Okay.
And they basically have to connect to that app. And I can come.
How can via Bluetooth?
It's by Bluetooth. You can press this button, and you press that button. And I'll come and try to help, but it's like kind of yeah.
Okay, I will try now.
And then if you what we want in each group, if you can just have one person take responsibility for this be like you're in charge of this. Yeah. Okay, hey guys. So everybody has their team. If you could get together and come up with a name, it would be great. The more inspirational, the better. And what we're going to do essentially is we're going to give you a phone, a headset, and a camera. Your first task is to make sure that the phone connects with the camera to be able to record things. And it's usually via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and it's usually a pain to actually set up, but you'll figure it out. And then once you get that figured out, we're going to go and shoot a 3-shot film, okay, somewhere around the conference center. I'm going to come up with a theme with these guys, and then you'll kind of craft out a little storyline. You'll go and shoot it, and then we'll edit it on the phones. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. Between what? Mixed.
Augmented reality and
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's everybody has that problem. I mean, the issue is the big difference is that in virtual reality, you're immersed. Typically, you're immersed in the scene, so you're only in a virtual world. Augmented reality is taking virtual content, virtual assets, and applying them to the real world.
So it's the augmented you can control and virtual just so you can see.
No, you can actually control in virtual reality as well. You can move things around, but the difference is in a virtual world, there's only the virtual world. You cannot see anything outside of you. With augmented reality, you're actually looking at the regular world, and then you're also augmenting it with sounds or video or different
So you
types of
can add
assets.
something.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody else good? Cool. All right, so yeah, come up with a name, and then give us a couple minutes to come around and give you guys these cameras.
So basically, the application just to connect them. Because
yeah.
I don't know how to connect them.
Yeah,
We'll try. We'll try.
We're
We'll
trying.
try.
It's part of the challenge. It's part of the fun. Where is it? It's called Theta.
Theta, I just found it, but he was in connections, so I couldn't find.
Theta HDR. We lost it. I think it went. Yeah.
So it connects like the GoPro.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the camera.
Okay.
You have to, yeah. So just if you can just give that to one team, and then. I think this one's easier. Yeah. You can actually record without the phones, but what is that? Samsung. Yeah, Samsung Gear. Okay. Yeah. And you can also give them this. Yeah, which they can. They're not gonna need yet.
Needs wireless connection, and it doesn't found on the open networks.
This is connected.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
then. So no. We lost it. No. Just I find it. So here.
Yeah.
And then we can get back here.
Yeah.
And here. Okay, we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
No worries. So
I'm gonna give this one out real quick. I'll come help you out. Does anybody have like a iPhone 7 or 8 or 9 or 7? Okay. So I would recommend you guys use this one, which
Okay.
just plugs into your iPhone.
Okay.
You're gonna have to download. Do you have Wi-Fi here?
Yeah.
If you could go look for Insta361 app, because you can use this with Android, but it's nice when it just clicks in. 361. Sorry, 1. Yeah.
One. Okay.
So this for this camera. It's different. The one I'm going to give you is different. Which team are you on? 2. Okay. Give me 1 second. Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Yes. All right. Good luck. You guys. Okay. So you're going to be using this phone here. Yeah. If you can get it to work. I don't. You have to it's like this, and then you have to press this to send a Wi-Fi signal, I think. There it goes. It was. There you go. That should work. Yeah. What's that?
We try to connect the camera with the phone,
Yeah.
but they are not connected.
Okay.
I'm sure this is the gear 316, 16, because I find another.
No, it might be different.
Might be different, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna. Okay. So let's try this one. So the app is Insta360 Nano.
It's the name of application.
Yeah. 360 nano.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to take your case. You have to take your case off.
It's done.
Yeah. Okay. So when you open it up, pop this on. The other app you're going to want to get is called Veer Editor. Can you check another one now?
Okay.
Do you have space on your phone for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Veer.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
VEER Editor.
VR? Oh, that's okay.
That one. Yeah. So yeah, just try to get this up and working. It should work. Yeah.
It doesn't connect because I think there is something wrong with the mobile.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to connect the camera.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it says there is no
Maybe you
Wi-Fi.
try,
What's
yeah,
the name
try
of the application?
Theta.
Theta.
E
THETA.
H E T A. Yeah. Theta.
Plus? It's the one?
Yeah. Try that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Try that one. And if, yeah. Sorry.
Should we think of the story?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Give me 1 second. All right. This is your guys' camera. You're in charge of the camera. This is a phone that should have that app on it. You can also install the app on your.
Can you come over here in order?
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, this is we're going to stream the view to the phone, so you can actually see what you're recording, and then you can actually edit on the phone.
Does the device has a password? Like when I'm connecting, it's
Yeah.
telling me password.
Yeah, try. Give me 1 second. This thing has no power. No, this one doesn't have power. I'm gonna give you one more phone. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, give me 1 second, and then I'm gonna get people thinking about story, and then I'm gonna come around. Can I get everybody's attention just for 1 minute? Can I get everybody's attention just for a minute? So you're going to have some technical issues setting up these phones. So in the meantime, I think you can start thinking about the story you're going to do. So basically, the story should have 3 shots only. Okay. So you have to create a narrative in those 3 shots or an experience in those 3 shots. All right. And you can do that in a lot of ways. You can hold it any way you want. You can put it on a tripod. We have some little tripods you can put around. You can walk around with it. Typically, the minimum amount of time you want to let people use in a scene is going to be 20 to 30 seconds. So you don't just want to do like a 3-second shot. You want to have at least 20 to 30 seconds. But you can also let them be in a scene if things are happening for a minute or 2 minutes. But you don't want it to be too long. So anyway, I just want everybody to be thinking about 3-shot story that you can shoot somewhere in the conference. All right, that and you're welcome to do it. It should be nonfiction. Yeah, outside. It should be nonfiction inspired, but it could be a reenactment. You could have actors. You guys could be acting something out. And so so I think does anybody have any good ideas for a theme? Anything jumps out at you? All right, let's go. Food production. Let's go with why don't we go with the hotel? So try to find a story around this hotel to tell. It could be food. It could be with the staff. It could be with just the architecture, but find some story around this. It could be down at the Dead Sea in the water, but think about a story that you can capture that kind of, that captures part of this beautiful conference center. And again, you're open to anything. It could be an investigation too. So I'm going to come around and we're going to help you guys get your cameras set up. So you have 10 minutes to come up with a story idea, and you need to have a paper and pen to write down your kind of storyboard. Any questions?
No way to be out of the camera, right? Our fingers will always be in the
No, you can. So with this, you can you can put it on a tripod. Yeah. But the way you do that, you might have to like. It doesn't matter because it's 360. So, yeah. But see, like this, for example, has a tripod point there. So I'll give you something you can put it on. Yeah.
Can you explain more about this, please?
So.
Okay. This is a manual camera. It's barcode. Scan. You want a barcode? It's one.
Should be. Oh, this is VR. Okay, so this is for editing.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, this is the one you need to use.
Okay.
You're going to need an SD card for this. Yeah, so anyway, that is working. This one, you don't have a tripod. So you're going to have to figure out a solution to make, this is video, right?
Okay.
And that's photo. So you're going to have to figure out a solution because you don't have access to a tripod. So you're going to have to make the film without it. I think also, this is like exposure, so you can make it darker or lighter,
I should be using this camera.
Yeah.
In the back.
Yeah. Just trying to get it switched. Anyway, that's fine. You'll just you can hold it. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's upside down or not. But I need to get you an SD card.
360.
Yeah.
So can we make a voiceover?
Yes. Yes.
He needs to film this way, right?
So it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's all 360 anyway.
اوكي بس you just need to انت محتاج تمسح دي على العدسه.
But there is a way to get it to turn around. I just don't know what it is. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but you can just use it that way.
مع مصطفى
يعني امسك بهاي الطريقه.
باي طريقه بس امسح العدسه.
Film story in 3 shots on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, by our
And
phones or by your phone?
You're gonna use the phone. Yeah.
This one. Okay.
Yeah. What time is it right now?
It is 11. It's 12.
Okay. Okay. So. Yeah.
So it's working right now?
Whose camera is this? This is for you guys?
Yeah. Number 3.
This is for you?
النهاية ولا مش النهاية؟ ما بعرفش. لا النهاية. النهاية. Okay. This is for
Yeah. And it's not working?
شغلها شي بلوتوث هاي.
What's that? Yeah, let me, I can try. But why don't you guys start thinking about the story idea?
Yeah, we thought about the story.
Oh, you have it already? Okay, okay, never mind then. I need to. Yeah, it sucks. I've done. Yeah.
We do this for the Mojo, for the mobile journalism.
Everybody has it.
We're waiting for the tripod. Do they need tripod for filming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still
Try 000.
40.
Yeah.
40 now. Okay.
Yeah. Try that. I'm missing a tripod.
No, shouldn't be 8. Should be 8.
Then try that mini. I think actually. Yeah. I don't think it. It doesn't need a tripod. Yeah. No. I mean, you could use one of these. I think maybe. Sorry. Yeah. There you go. There's a tripod. Yeah.
So they are having a problem with the heater because it needs
Yeah.
password, and I think we don't have the password.
No, it's like a standard password. Like 1, 2, 3.
So I should try from 1 to 8? Or no?
Try that. We won the 8. Here, okay. So it's the. Oh, this is such a pain.
The model is.
It's the serial number.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the serial number. It's YL00 12305.
So it should be. Okay. Plus is the word theta. So type in THETA.
All small or there's one
Big.
capital? Or capital?
And then you type in,
Okay.
The serial.
THE
but not.
theta.
Theta, and then X. Yeah.
So theta then
It's the serial.
Yeah. Just type that Y.
Y capital. YL 00. Okay.
Hey, how to connect it to phone?
Yeah.
The name in Bluetooth?
It should be just. The question is, you have to get it to. The trouble I'm having is to make it broadcast on Bluetooth right now. I'm having trouble with that. Is that working?
عميد بالك هذه هي لا اس 30 سامسونج ها شوف مش ممكن اس 30
Let me see this for a second.
كيف توصل كيف
You have to put the whole password in though.
مش لعبة اشباع بوظتوه
ها؟
انتوا بوظتوه
Okay, I'm trying to put it all small. Theta
Can we
YL.
divide them into the other groups that are already working?
They can also film without without we just put by pressing record.
So
But why can't we put all of the?
well, it's all small now.
It has to be 00120357.
Sorry, but we have to turn to on first.
Yeah.
يا حبيبي
One,
لازم
two.
تشتغل.
أقول لي حط حاجة تاني.
هيقول حط الباسورد تاني زي ما قال لك بس هو ما
ما هو
كانش
الباسورد
شغال.
أهو.
ما كانتش مفتوحة.
أيوه قال لي كمل الباقي. قال لي كمل
Which phone are you guys?
Four.
Is this are you trying? No, this is for the Theta. Who has the Samsung?
عايز وصلها.
Which phone are you using? This is the phone?
Okay.
Do you have the app on it?
Yes, sir.
You have the Samsung app?
شكون عنده سامسونج؟
No,
You guys don't have it?
no. No, it's Sony.
Okay. Yeah, let me. Did you guys get a mobile with this or no? Yeah.
Take a picture.
Okay.
خد 2 أو 3.
It's working. Yeah.
So how you can connect this camera with the phone?
It's just an app. It's a very simple app. All right.
انت مش معانا في الدورة؟
لا أنا عملتها امبارح.
لا دي اليوم كيفاش تخدم؟
See, there you go.
ازيك يا عبد الرحمن؟
Okay. So, camera. You want this view. This is the front, sides. You're gonna want it just like dual. Put it in different ways you can. So you can see it like that. Okay. Press record. Good to go. All right, we got one set up. This one's not working still.
All passwords didn't work. Small, capital, all numbers. So it should be something else.
Well, wait.
So can they join other groups? They are already operating. So
Can we try this? Can we try it without seated?
Try. Let me just try one of these cameras.
Okay. It's working.
Yeah. So use this one. Now there's settings here. You press record. You know, you have to like. Probably don't need 4K. It's way too big. Full HD. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, press record, and you can also adjust like the darkness, things like that. There's a few different options.
Yeah, like the Osmo one.
Yeah. Exactly. All phones.
All phones?
Yep. Yep.
But this is Samsung, this camera.
Yep. But it works. Yeah, it works with all of them. Okay. The Insta360. Yeah, it's really good.
Have 4K or no?
Yep, it has 4K. Okay. Yeah, you doing this?
What?
Whose camera is this?
Don't know.
Do you know whose camera this is? One team that doesn't have a camera. Maybe they split. Are you missing your camera?
Yeah, there's no signal for the camera.
Okay, I have it working. Okay. Where's your?
It's not our camera inside. The colleagues inside.
Ah. Are you sure this is not your camera? Okay. Forgot to tell everybody.
This is the camera for whom?
I think it's for somebody. What kind of camera did you guys have?
Not this one, another one. We
Okay.
changed the cameras.
Oh. Where's your team now?
They are smoking outside. Our story is about smoking.
Nice.
Living meetings and smoking.
I like it. Okay. Maybe just check with them if they're missing they still need a phone.
I think, yeah, we need a phone.
Okay, you do need one.
Yeah, because we tried on iPhones.
It didn't work?
And we tried
But was it a phone like this? Or was it a silver camera? No.
No, it's a camera like this.
Okay. This is yours then. Okay. So this is your camera. You can see it here.
Cool.
There's different views. I would typically, this one shows you what the camera's seeing.
Okay.
You see if you're just kind of moving it around.
Yeah.
But you can also have it like panoramic, which is like a stretched scene.
Okay. Which is
you-
better to take photos to make video
I
with?
think it's not. It films the same, no matter what. It's just different ways to interact or look at the.
Okay.
I find that one kind of useful, but you can also do that one.
Yeah.
But this is realistic. See,
Okay.
That's what you've seen.
Okay. And the
And this one is also it makes it easy. You press record and you can also change exposure and white balance stuff up there.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Good luck.
Thank you. And going to the camera is like this.
And if the app is, just so you know, the app is Samsung Gear 360. Yeah. Hey. How's it going?
I want to know about it.
Which part?
In total,
Yeah. Did you come to the workshop before?
no.
Oh, you are just arriving now. Okay. If you wait, if you come in right now, I'll show you a film, and then we're going to talk about it
Okay.
in a few minutes. try. Just wait 1 minute. Have a seat, and we'll talk. I'll tell you more. Okay.
I think they finished. They have 4 shots.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Where's your camera? Okay.
Oh, 3 shots. 3 shots.
Perfect. Okay. Take it off.
Yeah, sure.
You can put that camera down, and then you need Veer, a new app called Veer VR. Do you have that? Yes. Everything is free now because all the companies are desperate to get people to use this stuff because there's not a huge amount of people using it, so they want us to use it. But this is actually, Veer is a cool company. They're a Chinese company, and they're huge in China.
So we have to pay $400.
Yeah, so when it downloads, okay. Oh shoot, actually I just realized you may have, yeah, because you might have the data. So this is the other thing that you'll see is kind of a pain.
For editing.
Okay.
اه يعني بس هي انستا الهوستنج دي هتلاقيها كلها نفس الابلكيشن تقريبا بتعرفها نفس
So you have camera. Okay, I don't want to do that. Stop it. So many pop-ups.
Yeah.
Okay, stop. Okay, here's you guys' shots. So you want to select your shots. Let's say that one. Which ones?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, and then export to system album. Is that okay? Photos. Yeah. So it's gonna take.
Y to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give it a minute. But then, when you think about Veer, it's basically a drag and drop editor. So you put your 3 clips in, you trim them, how big you want them. Then you can write some text. I think you can also, I think you can import audio. So you can record a memo or something, import it, and then you can export it if we have time, and then you can watch it on one of those headsets. Yeah. So right now, we're just exporting from here into the phone. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Do you want to? Can you guys? Can she join your team?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Maybe you can just explain to her what. Yeah. So, did it work? So, is it on your phone? Okay. Now, where is that? Let's get that. We need to get that iPhone out. Perfect. Okay. Now go to Veer.
This is the first.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let's get out of here. You don't need that app anymore. You need this app.
This app?
That.
Edit video.
So, why is
Camera
it only?
roll?
Okay.
No.
Perfect. No.
No, not this. This point.
Oh.
Not camera roll.
Okay.
Videos
no,
recently added. Wait. What about?
I think it's another
Recently,
program.
recently video.
Okay. So let's go back to this.
This. Understand? This is a video.
Okay.
All this.
Okay. So let's. Wait. Only. Sorry. Is it okay?
No, it's not here. Why?
Can change it?
Okay. Here we go. These.
Okay.
All of them?
Okay. All of them.
You want all of them?
All of them.
I would.
Pick.
Okay.
Okay. Only those. Only this. Without. Download. It's downloading. It's working.
It's going to take a few minutes, and then you'll be able to import it into the other app.
And the another
And it should
other
be
application.
on your photo roll.
There was a camera with my group, so there's no need for this one. We
Oh.
filmed.
Okay. Okay. Great. So then basically let that export, and then you'll load it into your Veer VR app, and then you can drag and drop where you want the clips to go. You can put a little text or narration maybe. But mainly just export it, and then you can watch it on one of these headsets. Sorry. How did you guys' team go? Yeah? Where is your camera now? Here? These guys? Number 2, okay. No, I'm just making sure everybody's here. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Josh Meyer from Politico.
Yes.
Politico.
Yes.
I really wanted to be here, but I had to
Yes.
sort of go back and forth.
Yeah.
This is your last panel.
I know I'm doing another screening and demo in the afternoon
Oh, good.
at 3:45.
Do you have a card?
Yes.
I don't, but I'll trade them. Where are you based?
Nairobi in Kenya. Yeah. Yeah. It's trying to kind of. Yeah. No, it's.
Is there a way to, do you have like a power or something where I can,
Yes.
if I miss them?
Download
Yeah.
here.
Yes. Perfect. So
What
you're
I
gonna
have to do?
you go to Veer VR app. Go to Veer and load it. 1 second, Josh.
What's its name?
The Insta 360, I think. Yeah.
I wanted to purchase one. Is it available for someone to can purchase
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Today?
It won't let me check out my hotel
Oh, when are you leaving?
tonight.
Okay.
I have to basically figure out. So do you give people a way to do VR without like a huge?
That's our entire point, is like getting it in the hands of the people basically, and it's been really effective in East Africa. There's a lot of people just kind of figuring this stuff out themselves, but yeah, I know. Well, a lot of it's about empowering people to be thinking about these technologies in ways that they can hack them. I'm going to put your contact and then
So Trevor, just your name and then
at gmail.com. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, it's me. Write down to me.
Yeah.
Its name.
Samsung 360,
Yeah, that.
the white one or the
Incredible.
Yeah.
The white one.
yeah. Gear. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are not very good pens. When
for sure that
when are you leaving?
I'm not leaving till my flight's at 11.
Okay. Stop by Amra upstairs at 3:45. Will you be here? That be okay? Yeah. I'd love to show you a few things. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Time is actually doing some cool things.
Exporting is done?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Definitely. All right, Josh. Yes, she's this Mia something. Anyway, she's a very impressive woman. Yeah.
The exporting is done, so we should.
It's done. So then you're in Beer Editor. These
Yeah.
are your clips. Bam, bam, bam.
Okay.
In.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
you go. So now you can. You have to watch them.
Okay.
You know, and then you
Yeah, yeah.
you trim them.
Yeah.
Then you can also slow them down.
Or speed.
You can put speed.
Yeah.
And you can put music in.
Okay. It's music by recording. We can import in.
Local. Add
Add
my
my
music. So here's your album. So you have to import it into your music, I think. Like you can do like a voice memo or
Yeah, I
something.
think we can do a voice memo.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's here.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
And then you can also, you can change,
Okay.
you can also do like these, make it different.
Color correction.
Yeah, color correction.
Okay. Thank you.
After editing,
have to say somewhere.
أي software it's special software or
Is it only
any software?
$100?
Yeah, even
Really?
you can get it even cheaper.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Wait. Where is the images? We need to download them to the phone. I don't see the images. Where's the app? Okay, so you need to select, and then you need to save. So you basically have to download it to the memory of the phone, and then you can edit it from that. Yeah. Let me know when it's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this the VR.
Yeah.
This video.
So then you might want to throw some of them away. You can watch them. You know. You can go through. You can make them slower, faster. You can.
Like a montage.
Yeah, you can trim them. That's important to trim them. You don't want them to run the whole thing. And you can do audio if you want to put music in.
How is music?
Yeah, they have some music. You can do color correction. You can put text, all that stuff in. So you guys.
If you wanna watch your movie again, we can do
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, at 3:45.
3:45.
Yeah. Or you can watch something else. I have other things too. All right, how's it going? You guys are not editing. Hey man, welcome. Yeah, they went off, and there's like
I
one
don't know
group.
where they did go.
Yeah, I got there. I think I don't even know what phone they had because I got it working, but anyway, we got all the phones working.
Yes.
But some group left without their camera. So
Camera or without?
without a camera. I don't know. What's after this?
We can just start because
Okay. All right, you guys. We have about 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes to finish your edit, and then you'll export it, and then you can watch it, and then we'll talk. Good. Yeah, they're making films.
did they film it on the 360?
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
I went to the one session that wasn't recorded because I assumed this would be recorded, but it's going to be completely.
Yeah. It's more of a. This is more of a hands-on. Yeah. Most of the time, we've just been connecting Bluetooth to phones, which is what you actually been doing in your VR. I mean, most of the time with the VR, you're dealing with some BS technical thing because it's kind of bleeding edge stuff. So it's like.
Yeah, but just we can prepare for this.
Yeah.
We have those kind of applications. We have to install it. We can produce it.
Yeah.
So we can copy it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like now, like I mean, ideally we'd all have Insta360. You know, you have 5 Insta360s, the same camera. The app comes. You have your VR because we have this motley assortment. So that would be the ideal thing. Was we want to be able to have like these Oculus Go headsets, this Insta360s. It's a kit. You guys can have it to do trainings and like because right now there's 3 VR studios in Kenya who are all giving. Like this is one guy's camera, and this is one guy's thing, and so we're just sharing, because it's just how you have to do it at the beginning.
Is there anything in Jordan? In Jordan for VR? Yeah, we brought the Insta360 from the office. Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, we used it for the promotion.
Yes.
That kind of this panoramic shot.
Yeah, yeah. There's a few. There's one gaming company that seems pretty interesting. I was trying to meet when I was here, but didn't have time. But I think they're doing some 360 stuff. I forget what the name of the gaming company is.
I think we have here the Oculus and video cameras, everything is here.
Yeah, yeah,
Not sure. I think it's a little bit expensive here
yeah.
rather than outside.
It's pretty expensive everywhere, though. I get the impression.
No,
No.
here everything is expensive.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah, I think it's probably $400 in America and $1,000 here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. Cool. And then I want to have a few minutes to brainstorm after this though about ideas. But yeah,
Editing, and then
Yeah.
we can start.
So the first 12 seconds.
how's it going, guys? Is it? Yeah, VR. Ah, there we go.
The idea here is people here cancel and go to smoking.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now you can throw away the ones you don't want. You delete them, right? Or you can trim them. If you don't want it to be that long, you trim it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then you can put them in the order you want them to be in by moving them around. Okay? And you put music in and things like that. All right?
You can make off
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah. How you guys doing? 1 more minute, okay. Then you can just export it, and we can put it in. Oh, actually, it's. Yeah, so these things are all set up to work with the S's. S6, 7, 8, 9. These ones you don't need them. But for the apps and the cameras, any Android that's a bit strong, you can use it. Yeah, yeah. So these are both Oculus, which is owned by Facebook. So this is their high-end one, and then they have this is kind of the consumer one. This is $200, and then they're building one that's $400 that's in between. It's like in between these two products. It will come out this next year. Yeah, 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 yeah. How's it going?
We are editing now.
Yeah.
How can I mix between this shot and other shot?
You want to move it, or what do you want to do?
No. That's it.
Yeah.
First shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to trim it? It's very long. Is that what you want to do? No, you already trimmed it. Okay. Sorry. What is the question?
It's already working now.
Yeah.
Just edit this, and this will be. I will be watching.
Yes. Yeah.
One by one.
No, you'll see it all together, like a movie. So it'll be one shot. Whoop, sorry. Yeah, it'll be one shot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready to export?
Yes, we should export.
What we should do now?
Okay. So now you need to download this to your phone.
This was us out, and we take long time just fixing it.
Yeah, sorry. So what you'll do is you'll select. These are your shots.
Yeah. Okay.
Transfer. Basically, just go through them and transfer all of them onto the phone, and then Once you do that, you'll open up an app called Veer VR app.
Where it's transferring now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where?
To the phone.
To the phone.
So
Then-
basically, then once you have all the clips in the phone, you'll import it into an app called Veer Editor.
It's on the phone?
Yes. And then you can edit it.
The export should be from here.
Yes.
And then
اوكي اللي بيعمله بعد كده بيترانسفير كل الفيديوهات دي، بتختارها وتدوس ترانسفير. بعد كده الماتيريال بتبقى على التليفون، بتفتح ابلكيشن تاني اسمه في ار اديتور،
VR editor
وتبتدي تعمل.
تمنتج عليه. كده ما بدناش.
No.
ده كمان يعمل.
It's like.
ده ده.
Oh no.
ترانسفير. طب هم
It's like,
بيكونوا على
على الجهاز.
Done. Save the album.
الترانسفير من وين لوين؟
Save the
الكاميرا؟
file.
من الكاميرا
Save
للابلكيشن.
video.
من يعني الابلكيشن ده للميموري بتاعت التليفون.
Okay, but now the issue I forgot is these headsets work with the Samsungs, but this one.
بعد كده اول واحد.
Oh, cool. Okay. Why don't you? No, if you can send this to.
your email.
Trying to think the best. I need it to be on one of these phones.
ممكن تبقى قصه ايه؟
Actually, you know what? Go.
ان احنا ما لحقناش نصور وهم قلنا
Do you have a YouTube account?
YouTube? No.
Yeah. You don't?
No. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I have an account, but
Do you know what the password is? Go to back to. Or you can try to go to.
تعرف كيف تعمل؟ كيف تعمل
No, I want. Can we need that? You need to give me this on here. So let's try. Can we Bluetooth?
iPhone doesn't support Bluetooth. Maybe I can. Do you have Google Drive?
Yeah, we kept Google Drive. Just send me a. Then I have to log into mine. So stupid these things don't work. It makes me crazy.
Yeah. Or maybe WhatsApp or Facebook or I don't know.
This is the one.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is the application.
Yep.
Veer editor.
Okay. We can put sound recording voiceover.
Yep. This is it.
Yeah, we need this one, this one, this one. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You should be able to. You should be able to. You need to upload it from.
Then what to do after we have?
You just edit it like a normal thing. You can edit it around. You can trim it. You can change the speed. Explore the app.
We can cut it.
You can cut it. Yeah. You go to trim. You cut it. Yeah. You have to export it from the Veer editor. Go to here. You can export to.
Have to do the editing again.
Sorry, one sec. Yeah. There it is.
It's only 9 seconds. It was like 1 minute and.
Okay.
We have to edit it again, yeah?
Yeah.
Project Trap.
Yeah. What's that? Okay. You know what?
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We are friends, but I want to save it. How can I do it?
Yeah, we just did this with him, and he saved it, and it didn't even save. Okay. I'm going to just let it go for that. Let it be for a minute.
I finished it.
Yeah. You should be able to save and share. Because look what, see, this is what happens when he does his.
Okay.
It's like it's an iPhone. It's an iPhone app problem. Because this one is saving it properly.
Before.
Thank you. How do you download it to the camera? Okay, doing it. Share to Veer. Can you make an account with your email? Oh wait. Yeah. You can just make an account and then we can upload to that.
We have timeline or no?
No. This is all. Yeah. This is all you get. I mean, you can put it in Premiere and you can edit it nicely. This is just an example of what you can do on your phone. Okay. Everybody, can everybody just quickly have a seat with your team?
Can try this.
What's that? Yeah. Hop in. Maybe he can help you. All right, everybody. Can everybody sit down for a quick second because we have 5 minutes left, but we can also potentially go into overtime. All right, so can everybody pay attention for just a quick second? So what you just experienced is both the difficulties and the easiness of making 360 video right now. I think what we'd like to do is, after this, we can maybe try to export the videos, people who have time, and we can watch them on these headsets. But I want to quickly get some feedback from all of you about some ideas in which you might be able to use this. Can you guys just... I just want to, because we have 5 more minutes, I want us to kind of think about ways in which this could be useful for you in your work. So I just want to quickly go around, and I want you just to throw out some ideas about how you might use VR or 360 in your work. So starting with you guys.
We are still editing. Especially if we will talk about the investigation thing. Sometimes you want to transfer the feeling of the place that you are. Like you are talking maybe about big land that someone stole it from a place. So you have to give the audience the exact feeling that you see. It's usually you are saying by the voiceover it's like 100 kilometers, but I think by the VR we can transfer the feeling itself to the audience with only the footage.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's an example of like a story idea particularly? Like what's a space that might be important to do that in?
Like I said, maybe we are investigating someone is stealing a land or a big place. So we need to show it to give the impression for the audience. It's a very big and he's someone corrupted.
Okay.
Yeah.
الشيء الوحيد اكتر شيء يعني حسيت بيلبق على هيدا الشيء عنا تنقول بلبنان هو بركي بملاعب الفوتبول. عندنا مشكله اساسيه بالجماهير انه في كتير بيصير شعارات طائفيه والى اخره. فانا على طول بفكر بالموضوع انه كيف معقول الواحد افضل طريقه ليصور ملاعب الفوتبول وياخذ الجمهور من الطرفين، يعني شط تاخذ الجمهورين والى اخره. فبحس هيدي مفيده.
Quick summary, somebody? No, just a quick summary of what he said. Football? Sports. Okay, cool. I should get one of these. Anybody else? Quickly. Yeah.
It can, take, video from the four sides at the same time. And this, inspiring you, to make, more and more interesting stories. And also it helps a lot in areas, in reporting areas of conflict. Like, for example, what we have in Libya, we have kind of chaos and armed militias. Sometimes they fight each other. This amazing camera can do a lot and can take very interesting videos at the same time saving yourself, because you don't have to be close to it. Just be connected to it and try just to observe. And then you come and you will have a treasure inside. This is a small camera. I'm very happy to get approached to it, and I will purchase one. Thank you.
That's really interesting. Sorry.
أنا بصراحة يعني عجبتني التجربة، خاصة أنه نحن في تونس في الفترة هذه عنا يعني المظاهرات الشعبية وال يعني مطالب، يعني ما تعرف الديمقراطية أصبح الناس الكل يتكلم، الناس الكل يحب يعمل مظاهرات والكل، فترفع شعارات وترفع أشياء وحتى في علاقة بالأمن الموجود. فلما تصور بجهة واحدة يعني ساعات تشوف اللي من جهة الأمن في المظاهرات، لأنه في المواجهات بين الأمن والمتظاهرين يعني ديما لازمك تكون من جهة الأمن، مش ما تكونش أنت ضدهم، مش نجم تصور. ففكرة استعمال الفي ار يعني في المناطق هذه وفي المواقف هذه يعني تساعد وممكن توصل صورة أحسن للناس يعني بشكل أفضل. شكرا.
يعني استخدام هاي الكاميرا كثير راح يريح المصورين خاصة. ممكن اني احكي عن تجربتنا احنا كشعب فلسطيني. ممكن تكون في قلب الحوادث، قلب الاشتباكات مع الجيش الاسرائيلي. انت عم بتشوف بكاميرتك اتجاه واحد، بس ممكن يكون في 10 أو 15 جندي عم بيعتدوا، عم بيطلقوا النار، عم إلى آخره. فأنت ممكن إنك تشوف صورة واحدة. فهاي الحالة ممكن تشوف كل هاي الصور. هذا أكيد رح يعطيك فرصة أكبر إنك تقدر على الأقل إنك تأخذ كل هاي الصور وتفضح هاي الانتهاكات اللي عم بتصير بحق المدنيين.
هي يعني تجربة رائعة، يعني بغض النظر عن مدى إمكانية استخدامنا للتقنية دي في الدول اللي احنا بننتمي ليها لأسباب مختلفة. يعني اعتقد ان احنا هنحتاجها في امور كتير، خاصه في الحوادث. احنا مثلا بننزل نغطي حادثه، احسن صوره بتتاخد هي الصوره اللي بتتاخد من كادر بعيد خالص، اللي بتحاول تظهر كل شيء في الحدث. فتقنيه زي دي هتكون مفيده جدا. بس انا عندي سؤال، يعني هي مشكله واجهتنا واحنا بنصور، وانا اتكلمت معاك فيها امبارح، بس حابب توضحها لنا اكتر. فكره التيم وورك بيكون فين وقت التصوير يعني؟ وايه الحاجات اللي موجوده تاني؟ هل في اجهزه تحكم عن بعد في الكاميرا اللي موجوده؟ هل في انواع متطوره من الكاميرات تقدر تخلي اللي بيصور قريب؟ هل في يعني تكنيكس معينه تحرك بيها الكاميرا من بعيد، او ان انت تكون بره الكادر؟ ولو انت بتصور، انا اتفرجت على الفيلم بتاعك امبارح، كان في لقطات في اماكن مفتوحه، يعني في اماكن انت ما تقدرش تخرج منها. كان في تصوير جوه رومز ممكن تخرج من الروم، انما كان في لقطات في صحراء. فانت كنت فين وقت التصوير ده، وازاي قدرت تتحكم فيها يعني؟
Yeah, it's a good, interesting point. I mean, I think that you can actually, with a mobile phone on the app, a lot of these, you can actually be, 100 feet away and you press record, and you can record what's happening. You could also give the cameras, I've done this before, you give it to the subject. So maybe it's someone in the military, they take it with them, they press record, they record. There's also ways, but typically you're like hiding. So I've done interviews, where I'll be like behind the desk, kind of yelling out questions to someone, which is a bit weird. But there's essentially, you have to be removed from the space when you're shooting, unless you're a character in the story, which is another way to deal with it. But there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of things you can make. I mean, you can make, or you can find, you can design. It's pretty easy to design like an app that would allow you to have, press record from 1,000 feet away. These things are all feasible. Like we talk about, like safety or like being in a conflict situation, be able to have the camera set it up in a place where things are going to be happening, and be able to be removed from that could be, would be one option. But yeah, but essentially, yeah, you're pressing record and then you're leaving. With the camera I was using, it was not remote fired, so you actually had to be next to it, press record on 7 cameras and leave. But now you can press record and you can actually monitor what the camera is seeing from a good distance. Okay, 2 more ideas about how this could be used in your context.
Yeah, I can imagine to use it in refugee camps. I mean, not me myself, but our project.
And why, how could you imagine it being?
Because I think, because it's so immersive, because you can make people experience what it means to live in a refugee camp.
Cool.
أنا عم أتذكر سنوات سابقة اللي كنت فيها أغطي أحداث مظاهرات، لما كانت تيجي الشرطة الإسرائيلية وتقمع مظاهرات اللي كانت تصير بفلسطين في 48. فكانت هاي الفيديوهات اللي بصورها توثق عنف الشرطة، كانت مفيدة في لاحقا للمحاكمات، لأن الشرطة كانت تدعي أنه تعرضت هي لمهاجمة من قبل المتظاهرين. فكانت أحيانا الفيديوهات تساعد في لوائح الاتهام التي كانت تقدم فبذكر يعني خلال المظاهرات هي بتكون دقائق معدودة لما الشرطة بتهجم، فما بتلحق تاخذ كل اللي عم بيصير لأنه عدة أحداث، واحد عم بنضرب هون، واحد عم يعتقل هون إلى آخره. فبتذكر كنت أصور من هون، يعني حتى أنا ما بقدر ألحق وين بدي أصور. فبهاي التقنية بتخيل كتير راح يكون مساعد يعني رصد كل ما يحصل، وأيضا تكون كأداة للمساءلة ولا فيما يعني بالتوثيق لاحقا، مش بس فقط تغطية خبرية.
Yeah, and I've had a few of the conversations this week about that as well. The idea, even if you're not going to use it for a story, using it as evidence, legal evidence, because you have your ability to kind of see everything that's happening. And I think that could be a really cool, interesting use case. Last idea, and then we'll move on to conclude.
أحيانا لما نيجي نعمل انترفيو بنحتاج 2 كاميرا عشان نعمل واحدة على المحاور وواحدة على الضيف. فأعتقد إن الكاميرا زي دي لو كانت كويسة جدا فممكن تجيب الاتنين مع بعض، أنت مش محتاج تاخد 2 كاميرا، صح؟ أنا أعتقد كده يعني.
Yeah, and you can even do that in a immersive setting, so the viewer is kind of looking back and forth in between. Or you could actually shoot it like that and then just crop each reactions and use it as that. So, which is something you're only able to do it now because the resolution is quite good. In the past, it's been more difficult. Cool. This is really interesting conversation. I am really excited about kind of moving ahead, working with these guys to see different ways that we can get some of these cameras and into your hands. So after this, if you want to sign up your name, your email, I can follow up with some resources, and we can maybe try to kind of move this conversation beyond this conference. At 3:45 today, doing another screening in Amra upstairs. And what we're also going to be doing, if everybody who has the phones, who's been editing the films, if you have a little bit of time, maybe you could stay behind, and we could finish those films, and we can show them at 3:45, and you can stop by and see what you guys made. But before we conclude, I just wanted to see if you guys have kind of any questions or wanted to discuss a few more things before we move on to the next thing today.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, my question is about recording the sound now. So, if you wanna take the sound from all around, like open area, and you have boom mic. In the boom mic, we're trying to take it out of cadre in 360 degree. How can we do it?
So you have two options. Typically what you do is you'd have one mic that would be on a tripod. So basically, typically your camera will be sitting on a tripod in a location. And then you'll duct tape or strap your microphone to that, and it will capture ambient sound 360 degrees. The other option, and what you also will often do, is you'll put a lavalier mic on your subject, and then they'll, then you can bring those two audio sources together, or you can also put shotguns on your tripod pointing at the direction of what you're using. But you're not going to want to use a boom in these situations unless you want to be part of it. So there's a piece on one of these cameras about a BBC report, and they make the boom mic and the interviewer a character in the story. So then you can have all the pieces you actually need. But typically, yeah, you have a central mic, and then you have lav mics on your characters.
Okay, while we're recording now, when we get away of the camera, the signal like disconnected, and we can't connect to the device itself. So
on your
is
phone?
there any device that can make it stronger between the camera and the mobile?
So if you look here, you see these. I mean, this is probably, maybe, I don't know what it is now, but like 1,000 feet. See those antennas? So if a more professional device would be able to do that from a very large distance. So it's just these are more limited, and certain ones are better. Maybe the Insta360 has a better reach. But yeah, it's still, there's still, I mean, it's a $100 camera versus a $3,000 camera. Yeah. Any other final questions? So can I hear just a raise of hands of people who are going to leave this workshop and go out and try to shoot something in 360? Okay, cool. I really recommend you do it. And it's not just because of this technology. It's really all the other technologies that are coming next. And so I really encourage you to go out and experiment and get your hands dirty and try things, because again, it's not like someone else is going to go and figure this stuff out. It's kind of up to us. So I really, would encourage that. And again, put your name down, and I'm really happy to kind of support and help in any way I can for what's next. So thank you guys so much for coming. Shukran.